Hey everyone, okay, it's Char. So I'm doing a new video log, and this one's gonna be more about like foot puff and what it is and where it came from, and just like a reflection on tonight and how it went. So tonight, for the first time ever, I entered in bracket with foot puff. So I played puff with my feet. Like, I didn't want to enter bracket for the longest time because I thought people would judge me, and I was all like nervous about it and all this stuff, and I was like, oh no, like that's so embarrassing. I don't want to have to like take off my shoes, and what if my feet stink, and like shit like that really shouldn't have been an issue. But I was like really nervous about it prior, and then tonight I was like, you know what, I kept pushing it off, and I was like, I'm not gonna do it this week, next week. And then I finally tonight I was like, I want to do this. Here's a whole rundown of like what foot puff is, where it came from, why I'm playing with my feet. So I have tendonitis and in my hands, and I first started getting symptoms like, I guess last summer, at the end of last summer. So I had started getting into competitive melee over the summer, like during June. And through August and stuff, and it was really exciting, and I was putting a lot of hours on practicing melee, and I was a Sheik main. I was experimenting with like different ways to hold the controller. I was working on like claw and seeing if that was good, and then I was doing different things to figure out, you know, when you first like starting the game, you have to figure out like how to hold the controller and like how to wave dash efficiently and stuff like that. And a lot of things I wasn't doing it in the most ergonomic way. Like I would be sliding off, I think, X to jump and stuff like that, that now that I look back on it, it makes sense why like now I have hand problems. But basically I was doing melee, I was doing like flag work in the marching band, I was doing music, and that like is really hard because you have to be practicing a lot. I was writing papers for class, just doing a lot of things with my hands. And then I started getting symptoms, just like shooting pains and stuff, during the year. And then it got really, really bad toward the end of my first semester back. So bad that I decided, I was like, I'm not gonna be like M2K, like I'm actually gonna go to the doctor. So I decided to go to a physical therapist, and I went for 6 weeks. And they diagnosed me with tendonitis, and it was the strain of tendonitis. It was like through my right thumb, and it's called de Quervain syndrome, and it's just like a fancy word for like your thumb hurts, basically from overuse. So it's the tendon, so it's all the tendons in like my hands, basically, some more than others, but especially like this tendon was really messed up, and that was from this was from like holding up my instrument, stuff like that. What I had to do through physical therapy was to like eliminate some things that my hands didn't necessarily need to do, and the first thing to go was unfortunately smash. So I had to put the controller down, and that was the hardest thing. That was so difficult. I came home from winter break, and my brother was home from college, and he was the first one who introduced me to Smash, so naturally I just wanted to like hang out and play, and every night he'd stay up super late playing on Dolphin and stuff like that. And so like I really wanted to play with him, but I had no way to play with him. He told me this story about the Smasher who had like beaten people with his feet, and I was like, well, that's kind of funny. It was like one night in December, and I started messing around with how to play differently. So I like tried playing with my elbows, and that didn't work. I tried playing like with my chin, it didn't work. It was way too hard. Don't do that, it hurts your face. And you know, I'd try to play with like 2 fingers, but even that would like cause shooting pains. At one point I was so angry, I just threw my controller down on the ground, and I looked down, it's on my feet. I was like, oh, I mean, that would work. So I started doing that, and then I started practicing against my brother with my feet over break. I tried out a bunch of different characters, but Puff and Kirby were the only 2 that I really could do anything with, because you need to be able to recover. I couldn't main Marth with my feet, because you have to do, in order to recover from off stage, you need to do side B, side B, side B, up B, and that's nearly impossible to do with your feet. Like, try it sometime. So I needed something where I could just like hold down X and just be done. So that's kind of where the Kirby and Puff come from. But I ultimately decided on Puff just because you have that rest, and the rest gives you a lot of leverage in games, and you can take off stocks, and people don't really expect it, especially if you're playing with your feet. They're like, oh, like whatever, she's not gonna rest me, and then you can rest them, and it's fun. But yeah, so I ended up maining Puff I don't like to say I'm a puff main though. Like, I play puff, but I'm not a puff main. Like, I will always be a chic main at heart. I'm sorry. So I came back to AZ in the spring and I started going to tournaments and just like playing friends and stuff. I didn't enter bracket with my hands because I didn't want to hurt them further. I really wanted to enter bracket with my feet, but I didn't feel like I was good enough. So I just kept on putting it off, like I said earlier. I was just really embarrassed about it, and it was something that I wasn't proud about, and it was something that, like, I don't know, it was just kind of weird and different, and I didn't want to stand out anymore. I was already like a woman in a room of, what, like 60 to 100 men? Like, that makes you stand out a lot. But when you're playing with your feet, it like makes you some weird like child prodigy or something. So why tonight is significant is because tonight was the first time that I ever entered bracket with foot puff. I had texted Jem beforehand and I was like, Jem, yo, enter me in bracket. I'm just gonna do this. So he entered me in bracket as #foot puff. It was Swiss doubles tonight. So Jem just paired me up with a guy who needed a partner. And his name is Steven, I think. So our first set was against my friend Frida and her friend. They won the first game on Battlefield, and then we won on Pokemon, and that's the stock that I got, this super epic, like, rollout thing. I was, like, returning back on stage, and I decided to roll out because I was like, okay, this is just gonna be fun. And then their character was, like, falling, and I rolled out and I timed it so that I, like, hit them. So they went flying off stage, and then I went flying off stage, and we died at the same time, but because our team had another stock, we won. So it was really hype, and we all screamed, and it was fun. They had to leave, so we just counted it as a bye, and we won. Yeah. And then after that, we played, I think, like 3 other groups of people. They all beat us pretty bad, but, like, honestly, it was closer than I expected. Like, usually it was, I don't know, they would have like 3 or 4 stocks left, which is not horrible. I think the hypest things were definitely the rests. I was getting a lot of rests that I really shouldn't have gotten. Like a lot of people just being lazy and rolling in, and don't do that. It's really hard to combo, but I got some really good edge guards, so that was really exciting. And for the first time in so long, I actually felt nervous during tourney because I have not played like competitively since, gosh, since like last year. It was fun. I mean, it was really hype, and there were a lot of guys like cheering and stuff for me, and that was fun. But some of them were like trying to talk to me during it. Like, I can talk to you after, but don't ask me about my tendonitis when I'm like in the middle of a set. It was hard to focus. People were like really impressed in general, which is kind of fun, really refreshing. It was just really nice to like compete again. It'd been so long, and it just felt really good to play. Like, you know, I'll play friendlies and stuff, but it was really nice to be in bracket again, and I realized how much I missed it. I look forward to entering the next several tournaments as foot puff. You can find me #foot puff. With that, cool thing, sorry, I'm like really tired. It's like 1:06 and I need to get up tomorrow for work. Rip. Tomorrow afternoon now, it's not in the morning. It's going to be at 3:30 p.m. We're going to be having our first ever AZ Smash Sisters crew battles. It's going to be super hype. It's going to be at the AZ Melee Arcadian, and the TOs are me and Kelly, and we have about, I don't know, 10, 12 women showing up, hopefully. I think it'll be really great. I'm really excited. Again, the Twitter is Charmander360NS, and you can find me there, and I'll keep you posted for the next like video logs and writings, and I have a lot of things coming up, and it's gonna be good. Smash. Yes. All right. So with that, everyone have a nice night. See you around.